I was never a girly girl before I got out of the military. I was so sick of being a dude. I went in as such a tomboy and I was like, I can hang with the guys. And I was like, God, I smell, I'm stinky. I haven't shaved my legs in a month, and it made me appreciate being a woman. And we had this one little short, chubby drill sergeant. She was so mean. But she said something to me that always stuck with me. And she said, you are a soldier first, but don't forget you are also a lady. And I thought that was really, really important, and I felt that gave me better manners. I've got to work on my cursing, but just being a lady is super important. You can still do manly things and be a lady.
I see a crossroads here. I see your life before social media, which was a lot going on and a lot of, behind the desk kind of stuff, so to speak, and then I see a lifestyle with that still and social media. I mean, how much did that change your life? Because I'm looking at your Instagram and I was like, I'm like, wow, how does this person find time to do X, Y, and Z?
I feel like that is really fluid because it's still like, even now today, it gets exhausting. You're like, God, I want to quit the game. It's so hard, but it's lucrative and it's fun. And the amount of people that I have met, it's like even you, for example, like this is so fun and it's always fun to talk about it.
Collegians, here we are. We were going to get into you have your definitely own thumbprint, like I was saying in the pregame. You guys got to see her Instagram. It is, she's out there doing adventurous, fishing thing. The photography is amazing. You work in a prison?
No.
I was watching one of the videos. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's one of the places I inspect. I'm an environmental specialist.
Okay.
So
all right.
That title can come with many different hats depending on where you work. So I work under hazardous waste. So part of our job as an environmental specialist, we are contracted by FDEP to perform inspections where there's any kind of hazardous materials. And in this case, it's going to be diesel fuel, large oil, anything over 550 gallons. So the jail has a tank that is over 550 gallons. So I'm over there making sure that nothing is leaking or leaching into the environment or that there's going to be any problems with the tanks there.
Okay. Got it. All right. Well,
people were asking me, why are you at the jail?
Okay. Yeah. So, let's go back. I mean, I want to know where you're from. How did you get into doing what you're doing? Tell us a little about yourself.
I was born in Detroit, Michigan, which always blows people's minds. I was born in Henry Ford Hospital, which was kind of a fluke. My whole family are like Chi-Town people, so they're from Chicago. My grandfather is actually a Chicago police officer. And so my whole family is from there. So after my stint in Michigan, we moved back down to Illinois, and I lived about 30 minutes outside of Chicago. So we spent a lot of time in the Field Museum, the Museum of Science and History there, or Natural History, and then the Shed Aquarium. So that's where I kind of just became obsessed with critters. They always had this touch tank in the aquarium. You could not get my hands out of it. You had to drag me out of the aquarium kicking and screaming. I was in love with the man who would dive into the big circular tank and talk to everybody while he fed the sharks. Like that was going to be my husband. I was in love with him. And so that's where all of that love began for all the critters and everything. Then we moved down to Florida. I want to say when I was 11-ish, I was so young. And then I left for the military when I was 17. So I've been all over the place. I was stationed in Fort Drum, New York, and then did my stint in Afghanistan, came back, and then came back to Florida because that's where my parents were, and did my college here. I started off in zoology, and I realized that unless I got a doctorate in zoology, I wasn't going to go far with that. So I needed to get into the workforce, out of the military, finish school, get into the workforce. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get a bachelor's and start working. So then I switched from zoology, thought I was going to do nursing, realized I did not want to touch people. Bless nurses' hearts. People are so gross. I'd rather touch animal poop than people. They're so nasty.
Right.
So then I fell in love with microbiology. And because I was a chemical operations specialist in the military, the gas, the people who run the CS chambers and do all the decon, that's what I did. And I already had a strong background in chemistry. because microbiology also requires a lot of chemistry courses. I got the microbiology and then the minor in chemistry. So that put me in perfect alignment for this job. I didn't get it the first time. The first time I applied, they ended up hiring somebody who had more experience than me, and it broke my heart. And I thought, screw it, I'll become a wildlife officer. That took a year and a half. I got my papers, and I was going to go to the academy in January. And I want to say this was October or November. It had to have been October because this job opened up again, which paid a lot more, meant I wouldn't have to wear a vest. And, like the law enforcement, bless their hearts, but that they deal with a lot of bullshit. And I don't know if I can curse on here. Sorry.
Yeah, you just did, and you can.
But it wasn't goal number one. So when this job opened up again and I got it, I reapplied, kicked that to the curb and got the job. So I've been doing this since November 2016. I tried to quit when my social media and everything started getting kicked off, and I was making really good money doing that. But the inspections that I've been doing for a really long time. The software is old and not everybody uses it. And so I stayed part-time to basically do the job that I've been doing as my little baby. And then I help them with the emergency operations when any hurricanes come, because I have a lot of obviously from the military emergency background, which was great because when Irma hit, I was still full-time. That was 2017. And I was placed in the emergency operations center with the firefighters, the police, everybody. I was with some really big head honchos. It was super cool. And because I was so young at the time, God, 2017 seems like ages ago. I was up. I was amped up. I was like, here, let's do this. I was like getting hold of people. I was up for 72 hours. My manager, he's so old. I was like, Alistair, go to bed. You need to go to sleep. So I was telling everybody, like, go to bed. I got this. I'll stay up all night. And 72 hours later, I was just like crashing. I was like, I need to. But they really showed that they appreciated me. I got some awards and some like letters of appreciation. Yeah, it was really cool. So they keep me on for that. And actually, we're getting ramped up for hurricane season now, getting all that prepared.
Oh, wow. I'm busy during hurricane season because we sell tarps. So,
that's money.
Yeah, those blue roofs. I see a crossroads here. I see your life before social media, which was a lot going on and a lot of behind the desk kind of stuff, so to speak. And then I see a lifestyle with that still and social media. I mean, how much did that change your life? Because I'm looking at your Instagram and I was like, I'm like, wow, how does this person find time to do X, Y, and Z? And then, there's the archetype shattered, of like, that person, because, you look like you are a model of some sort, on your Instagram, it's a very, there's the lifestyle and then there's the other life that you have. So when that happened, tell us about were you weighing it out? Should I do this? Should I do that? How can I do all these things? You just came from the gym, that takes time, right? And I was looking at your Instagram, I'm like, okay, well, this lady works out. I could tell she does, and I could also tell that, she's wearing her uniform and she's got little vertebrae in her hand. She's busy doing that, Then I see her like crack, a beer open and she's doing a beer, not a beer bong, but it's a beer. What do you?
Oh my God, you're making me blank. A shotgun.
A shotgun, yeah.
Yeah.
So and then and tons of fishing shots and the photography is amazing. So you must have somebody that's with you all the time, or you know how to like shoot it yourself. This is a lot. So when this started to happen, how did you navigate through all that? And were you deciding to weigh one or the other? What was it like?
I feel like that is really fluid because it's still like, even now today, it gets exhausting. You're like, God, I want to quit the game. It's so hard, but it's lucrative and it's fun. And the amount of people that I have met, it's like you, for example, like this is so fun. And it's always fun to talk about it. It fell into my lap. I loved taking pictures. I loved making art, but I loved even like, I think I had like 5 followers on Instagram. I was just like, look at this flower I saw. Look at this beautiful scene. It's just, I just love that. And I feel like if you love something, don't you, like, people always shove their babies in their face. Look at my cute baby. You know, you love something, you want everybody to see it and appreciate it as much as you do. And what I learned, because I've always, you know, I'm still caught in the crosshairs with aquariums, you know, keeping animals in captivities. But children need something tangible to love something. So getting a child established in something where they can touch it, feel it, it's real. It's not just this idea in their head. You get that started with them and then they fall in love with it. And similarly, when somebody loves something, they want to protect it. So I feel like sometimes sharing what I love gives people an idea of like what's out there. There's people who don't know the Everglades exist or what encompasses the Everglades. They just think of like swamplands and sharks. And, you know, nobody actually knows what Florida is outside of Florida who haven't visited it. Just like similarly, I don't know Australia. I think of kangaroos and herd people. I want to go there so bad. That's my dream. But that when I started sharing these things, and I was never a girly girl, before I got out of the military. I was so sick of being a dude. I went in as such a tomboy and I was like, I can hang with the guys. And I was like, God, I smell, I'm stinky. I haven't shaved my legs in a month, you know, and it made me appreciate being a woman. And we had this one little short, chubby drill sergeant. She was so mean. But she said something to me that always stuck with me. And she said, you are a soldier first, but don't forget you are also a lady. And I thought that was really, really important, you know, like, and I felt that gave me better manners, I've got to work on my cursing, but just being a lady is super important. You can still do manly things and be a lady. Right. And, you know, it's not like I'm like, oh, help me with everything. I mean, if I think somebody will do it for me, I'm like, yeah, go ahead. But it doesn't mean that you can't take care of yourself and be a lady. So I dressed the part that I wanted to look. This is like how I liked feeling pretty. And people go, well, why do you wear makeup on the road? Because I want to look cute in my pictures and I like it. And then I also started getting a lot of sun damage because I used to do, ladies, if you're listening to this, don't go to the tanning salons, wear sunscreen because my skin got so messed up. So then companies started reaching out to me and they're like, wow, you're catching all these fish, you're doing this. And it fell into my lap and it was kind of like mind blowing. And I was like, wow, all these people want to do this. It was crazy. So trying to juggle that with work and, you know, trying to respond, it was getting really exhausting and is really exhausting. I feel bad because I never want to text my friends anymore because I'm on my phone all the time. And like the last thing I want to do is be on my phone.
Right. How do you navigate your day? Like, I mean, are you working 5 days a week? And then on the weekends, you're saying, well, let's batch some content and we're chartering a boat and we're doing all that. What does that look like?
Similar. So at the beginning, I was just taking my vacation days because oftentimes when you're doing these charters, they don't want to run their charters on days. Like say if I'm advertising for a charter, they don't want to do it on their prime booking days. They want to do it in the middle of the week, which is fine now, but it was a problem before when I was having to use vacation days all the time, which is why I had to go part-time. So part-time now, the beautiful thing about my inspections is they only have to be done between 30 and 35 days. So I can choose, I can make my own schedule with that. And, you know, I do it right. So they trust me. Everything is always, there's checks and balances for everything. And it's been a really healthy relationship. I love my coworkers. I love my director. And you know how I use my pseudonym online. So most people don't know my real name. The weirdest thing is because it's Coley Jens. And again, we talked about how Jens is short for my last name. People call me Jens all the time. And I would love to know where people get that. It's like, there's a name before that. But yeah, that's something that's been weird is communicating with people that you don't know online, especially because things can get misconstrued in text.
Right. Right. Well, people will, it's online, you know, so people will, and you're attractive ladies. So people will feel like, you know, they feel like they have a connection to you, maybe sometimes more so than they do. And they'll try to reach out to you. I can imagine. So, so now, I'd like to go through maybe some milestones of do you do most of your ventures in the Florida area? Where have you gone? What have you done? Tell us a little about what it looks like. What do these adventures look like?
Oh my God. I've gone, the saddest part is I don't actually fish very much here anymore in Naples. In Southwest Florida. I live down by the Everglades, so I do get to go camping there and I explore there a lot. So where you see me getting more in touch with critters, where you see me grabbing things and showing you the animals, that's going to be locally usually because I know these critters. But I've gone to Belize, I fished out of Mexico, I've been to Costa Rica 3 times this year alone. We were just in Mexico last month. I did some modeling in Texas last month, which was really, really fun. I can't wait for people to see that. We did a whole cowboy shoot and everything. Nice. That was such a blast.
We're in Texas. I'm in Texas. We're in Texas.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
Okay.
We went to the stockyard.
We're in Georgetown, Texas, which is just north of Austin and 25 minutes north of Austin. So not too far. Yeah.
Texas is honestly.
You would look great in a cowboy hat. You probably, you get the whole thing going. I think I might have saw that online. Or maybe not. But yeah, I can imagine. So have you posted those pictures yet?
No, so he's got, so a lot of them, there was a company that I don't work for, but I work with, Demon Bikini. Absolutely love her. This is my little drop in for her. They're all made here in the US and she started off as a small business and she asked me, she's like, I make these bikinis. Can I send you some? I was like, these are beautiful. And so I started wearing her bikinis and then we did a photo shoot with them while we were over there, which was super fun, but we had more time. So I was like, let's do a lingerie shoot. Let's do a cowboy shoot. It was so fun. We went out to where the stockyards where they have the train tracks and the cacti and everything. It was just such a blast. So some of that was just for me, and then some of that was for the bikinis.
The colors and the saturation that you have on your Instagram, like the green bikini with this fish that has 7 colors to it and the saturation of everything. I was like, who does your photography? Who's doing all that?
Usually a friend just takes pictures of me. The stand that you're sitting on right now is this really cool thing have you seen the pop sockets on the back of phones?
Yeah.
So PopSocket is a stupidly expensive company for the crap that you get off of it. But, to give them a shout out, they actually, I've had the same PopSocket for a really long time. Yeah. Slides on my phone. And this is I'd show it to you, but then I have to take the camera off.
Yeah, PopSocket. It's like that thing that you put your fingers between and it holds on to the back of the phone.
But the thing that is attached to the PopSocket right now, it looks like a hand and it bends every sort of way and it clips onto the pop socket. So it's almost like those old GoPro things that you saw wrap around anything. Uh-huh. It's exactly like that. And I know that sometimes somebody will go, can I take your picture? I was like, it's actually easier for me to take my own picture because I can see what I'm doing. Because I'm not a professional model. I don't know how I want to stand. So I'll put my phone somewhere and just take a selfie.
So you just use an iPhone 15 or something on cinematic mode and 4K and that's it?
I'm on 14 Pro right now. I always get the newest phone, but the 15 just seemed kind of what did you even upgrade here?
I'm waiting for 16. Yeah, I have the 14.
Yep, right? Same. Yeah. I was actually just thinking about that today.
Yeah, why? I was thinking about yesterday. I was like, yeah, maybe the next one. But that's what you use. You just slam it in cinematic mode because it's it's just so. I mean, it really pops. I mean, the pictures and
you always have to bring up the brightness. It's not the brightness. There's the very first thing that you can edit on a photo. I want to say it's the vibrance. I always turn up the vibrance. I turn down highlights, which takes out that whitewash. Turn up your shadows a little bit. Depending on the photo, you can either increase or decrease the contrast. If the photo is dark, I decrease the contrast, but I up the black content. And then you increase the saturation. So that's why they're always so very bright. And then if I need to edit anything, sometimes when you do that, I'll turn my own teeth yellow because I've increased the saturation. So I'll have to go to Facetune, whiten my teeth back up. Sometimes if your eyes are shadowed, you have to bring the whites out. So a lot of them are edited before that. The videos are a little more difficult. So that's why you'll see the photos are popping some more and then the videos are a little darker. But I don't go hardcore into the editing, which I need to. I have a YouTube, but I don't use it.
Well, you can go crazy using Final Cut Pro, but I think for what you've done on an iPhone and rattling off what you just rattled off, that's like a mini masterclass. Anybody wants to, because if you see the content of what you have, I was like, wow, I thought you were using like, somebody with a DSLR, with long lenses. And I was like, oh my God, this is really good stuff.
The photos that this guy took of me with his camera, I was like, I don't look like that. I mean, I just saw it on the camera. I was like, that's not me. These are gorgeous. I cannot wait to see these photos. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like they're so much better on an actual camera.
All right. So let's get back into the adventures that you've gone on. Yeah. What's that fish? There was like, it didn't look like a rooster fish, but I don't know, you caught some massive fish.
I've caught some crazy colorful fish.
Yeah. Well, do you know what I'm talking about? It was very colorful, very silver and different colors. And it looked like a rooster fish. It was really long. It's a pretty big fish, about like 2 feet or something. And it looked like you were, like maybe a Gulf, type fish, or maybe some down in Baja, maybe, or something like that.
There's one that I love. Deep dropping is my absolute favorite because you never know what the hell you're going to pull up. The bad side of that is when you do pull something up, it's going to die because you're pulling it up from such deep water. I think that maybe you're talking about when I was fishing in Cabo, Mexico, we were using jigs. So we're in there jigging, which is freaking exhausting. You're like, and you're down there. This thing hit, and I really wanted a rooster fish, and we weren't rooster fishing that day because you're not going to do that jigging. There's shore fish, but something hit it. And like hit it hard, and it started reeling, and then he just gave up the ghost. I was like, what the hell is this thing? It felt small. We brought it up, and it was a pretty decent sized grouper, but we didn't know what it was. And our captain didn't know what it was. I'm not from the Pacific. I don't know what it is. So ultimately I ended up emailing the ichthyology department of San Francisco and sent them a picture. And it turns out it was called a rooster hind. And hinds are in like the grouper family. They're like a strawberry hind. Some people call it a strawberry grouper. So this rooster hind had these dorsal fins. They were pricky, just like they are on most grouper, but then had little flags behind it. I was like, this thing almost looks venomous, because some hinds can be.
Yeah.
Turns out it was delicious. We ate it anyway. Yeah. So we're like, we'll figure it out. And it was so good. But I mean, I didn't know what this fish was until almost 2 months after I ate it.
Yeah. I remember that. Banana. There's a good picture of that. I believe it's like silver with some color to it.
Not that one. So this one was reddish and orange. I'm trying to think. It was silver with maybe reddish to it.
Yeah. Now
there's so many fish.
Cooked or raw? What do you like? What do you eat while you're out there?
Depends on the fish. When we're out on the boat, we'll eat raw fish. We'll eat tuna. Like when we go yellowfin tuna, they'll bring anything to make the ceviche. Miami Mutton Man, we've made fish on his boat, which is always really fun. Lauren, she's a spearfishing girl. Hello, it's outdoors. She made ceviche on the boat one day. We weren't catching anything big, but we got a lot of fish. And it was super cool because spear diving is a whole nother world. I was out there. It's not good for people who have ADD. I swear to God, it's not.
You got the ADD? Yeah, I got the ADHD.
I got 80 of them, all 80.
Yeah, I got that too. Yeah.
But you get distracted by everything. You're like, what's this?
Einstein had it. He means we're on to something. It's all right.
Oh, shit. That's a good one. Then I think maybe there's hope for me yet.
Yeah. So you're in a volatile, it's not a hobby. It's a business. You're in a volatile business, let's say. Now, what are some of the milestones? You ever have any close calls of like, whether you're like, holy shit, that was crazy, or anything come to mind, when you're in the water or out of the water?
Oh, yeah. When we were in the Bahamas trip one time, we dropped down, I've never seen a school of hogfish. I mean, a school of hogfish. And we already saw some sharks down there. I'm telling you, the Bahamas with the sharks right now, it's scary and it's getting worse. And I think a lot of it is due, people were feeding the sharks. We're doing shark feeding tours. I get it. We want to get close to animals, but now sharks are seeing people and they're going, food's going to come from that. Yeah. And we dropped down on these sharks. And as soon as somebody shot one, they went bananas. And at first it was just reef sharks, but then the bull sharks started coming. I have never shot a shark. I've always just, held my spear out. In the Bahamas, you can only have pole spears. So you don't have a spear gun. It's illegal to have a spear gun in the Bahamas. Okay. So you have a pole spear, which is already difficult to get that pressure behind it. And this, I poked at him and he didn't stop coming. So I poked at him and he still kept coming. And that was really, really scary. And I turn around, you're looking at your buddies in the water and I'm watching one of my buddies swimming up and this thing is going after his fins. They were just crazy. So now you're like you're trying to get to the boat with your fish held out of the water so it's not bleeding everywhere. Just try to get there as fast as possible. So that was pretty scary. There was another time when I first started spearfishing, and I was going after a hog and I got it, but then he popped off. So I went back down to get him, and I came up and Tommy was like, "I just saved your ass. You had a shark right behind you." I was like, "Oh, you really got." I was not watching my own back. I was just so dead set on this fish, and I wasn't looking around like I should have been. So thank God somebody was looking out for me. These people who go out by themselves, I'm like, man, you have some big kahunas. I could never.
What kind of shark was it the first time? Bull shark again, or what kind was that?
That first time I didn't see it. So I didn't even know it was there until he told me. That's what's crazy.
Bull sharks are pretty intense, I hear. And then tiger sharks, I hear, are pretty, doesn't have to be a great white. The tiger, some of those bull sharks and tiger sharks are just as aggressive. More aggressive.
The only tiger shark I've seen in the wild, I was with my girlfriend Cassie. It was really cool. We jumped off the boat because there was this huge pod of dolphins. We're like, dolphins! Because who doesn't love dolphins? And the dolphins were swimming all around us, and then they vanished. And hell. And you ever use a GoPro underwater? Like, the GoPro makes it look so clear, but with your vision, it's way murkier. So I've got a video of this shark, but I'll tell you what, my vision, you did not see it coming. So we're looking around, and there comes this big tiger shark, and we're like, holy shit. She's never swam with a tiger shark before, so she's stoked. And I'm just like, I hope it can't smell pee. This thing was terrifying. And we're sticking the GoPro down in its face, and then I guess like getting too close to it, and it just kind of like was like, what? And started swimming up at us a little bit. We're like, oh. And then the dolphins rolled back in, and she was gone. And then the dolphins were back for a minute, and it was all fun and games again. And then they were gone again. And Cassie was over this way. Dave is over this way. So we're all kind of by ourselves. And I'm like, it's getting close to sunset. Water's a little murky. And I'm thinking, a shark's going to come out of nowhere. I just freaking know it. And like, I kind of go like this, and I look down, and there she was coming up behind. She's below me, which is good. So if a shark is like low, and you don't usually worry. It's when they get close to the surface and they're going a little crazy. Yeah. Okay. She stayed low the whole time. She had no bad intentions.
Tiger sharks, man. They're like the pit bulls of the sea, man. They're scary. They're very, very active, very aggressive. They're curious.
She was the most chill one that I've seen while being in the water, but we weren't spear diving. We weren't doing anything. That was what was actually scary. We didn't have I had a GoPro to shove in her face if anything happened.
What would you say is the biggest mistake you've ever made in doing what you're doing? Biggest mistake, like in the water, like while you're out there, and you're.
I've gotten hooks in my hands, the drinking. I used to, starting the whole thing with the boating, a lot of people, and I'm not putting out anybody who can hold their own, but I got into drinking really bad for a while. And it wasn't like I was drinking at home, but it was when I was on the boat, I would just get trashed, and it was becoming a problem. So actually, I still do my beer posts and stuff, but I haven't even drank in 3 weeks. Like, I don't drink that much anymore. It helps me lose weight. It helps me get into a lot better shape. But I used to drinking and boating, honestly, getting that trashed is just not a good idea. And I've almost had hooks stuck in myself. Yeah, because you think you're fine. You're tying a hook, and then you hit a bump, and you're drunk, and you're not coordinated. Shit goes right into your hand,
Yeah, but you can't feel it as much because you're drunk. No.
Yeah, no, it's true though. You come back with all these bruises, and you're like, what the hell did I do yesterday? Right. So I think that was like where I was messing up a lot. It was a lot too much drinking while being on the boat. The scariest thing that happened as an accident wasn't to me. I was with the captain. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to put him out there. But we were deep dropping with an electric reel, and he was paying attention to something I was doing, started bringing up the reel, and his finger got caught in the line. And if you know how fast those reels go, this thing almost took his finger clear off. And we were already testing our luck because we were fishing where there was like water spouts out that day. It was not a freaking good day but we're like, fuck it, we're already down here. We're going to fish. And I had to drive the boat, a boat I wasn't familiar with. Now I'm driving him back, trying to get us back as fast as we can in this storm while his freaking fingertip is hanging off there. He ended up having to go for hand surgery that evening. Ooh. Yeah, that was a scary day.
How long do these crusades how long do you usually go out there for?
All day. I go as long as anybody will have me out there, Usually I'm just down for anything. A lot of people, as long as they're a captain, they're reputable. I don't like, I have a lot of people, oh, come fishing on my boat. I'm like, I appreciate it, but like you're a total stranger that isn't a captain, and you're not business related. So I'm not like out there fishing with guys. Especially my rule is like, I won't, because I've had captains do this, like they'll hit on me and then like try to get me on their boat. Like I'm not going to be on your boat all day getting sexually harassed. It's just, so that's my rule. I'm not fishing with strangers, but anybody else, like I know that they're reputable. They tell me when and where to be there. I'm like, I'm down. I don't care. I don't know what we're fishing for. I don't know how long we're going to be out. Just like I show up if it's 5, 6, whatever in the morning. I leave my house at 3 a.m. to get to some of these fishing trips down in the Keys.
Ooh, yeah.
Which means I wake up at 1.
Where do you find the time? Well, you dedicate that time to that. So where are you at right now in your career and your life, and what's going on with you currently?
So right now I am kind of at a crossroads with what I want to do. I'm debating on whether or not I want to stay in Florida. I love what I've been doing, but I feel like now I'm getting older. I'm a lot calmer than I used to be. And I recently did a road trip in Washington just for myself for 10 days. And I got to Oregon and then I ended in Washington just driving around. And because it's the only North American rainforest. And I love critters. And they have a whole just new, it's like Pokemon, got to collect them all, and like there's a whole new set of critters up there. And I'm thinking like, I'd really like to try to maybe move myself out that way. I love Florida. I'm not from here though. And maybe it's time for a new chapter in my life. The problem is what would I do for a career there? And I was thinking maybe looking into something with parks.
Yeah. I mean, look, Washington, Oregon, that whole area is magical. It's so lush and verdant. And you got the mountains, you got, if you're going to be near the ocean and it's not too far to that rainforesty kind of feel, and it's incredible.
Salamanders. I mean, I saw some of the slugs while I was there, those big banana slugs.
No,
Have you
I
ever
don't
seen
know.
those?
No.
They're huge. They're so cool. My marine biology professor, that was her mascot. So I already knew what they were. So when I went up there, I was looking for them and I found some. And I don't know if they were pooping or what. They had these weird twigs sticking out of their butt. But I picked them up and he's like, don't pick them up. I'm like, I'm going to pick it up. And their slime is like cement. I mean, like it sticks to you. They're big. They're really, really big.
Wow. They're like that. They're like 8 inches. Is that what it is?
Oh, they're huge. They have like these little like breathing holes basically. And this thing was like that big in its head. It was really cool. I saw a couple of them.
Wow.
And it was up in the mountains.
So what's the long term? Like, what do you plan out far and ahead? Like what you really want to do for the long term? What's a big plan? Do you have a big plan? You want to go out there and work in park, or is that?
Yeah, ultimately, I'd like to do once I have enough money set up and once I have enough knowledge of that area set up. I'd like to do my own like sightseeing tours. I love showing people things and talking to people. So I feel like that would be something I would really enjoy.
Still would be doing your social though, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Well, social media, I mean, honestly, it's integral to any business at this point because it's a way to get people out there. I have to, pivot on what I was doing for my social media. But again, I'm getting older. I can't model forever. I can't be,
Yeah, you got a lot more tread on the tires. I mean, you're doing all right. You got a long way to go before you would have to like exit from that if you wanted to. If I may so say, put my own vote in that. That's a compliment, to say that.
But I feel like because there's so many younger girls, like, and I get along with women so well, which is wonderful. My closest friend, she's like 22, but I look at these younger girls and I'm like, God, I'm fucking old. They have all this energy, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Well, you look like you said, you're doing it right. You just came from the gym today. It looks like you're training every day. You're working. You got your passion project, which is earning for you. And you have a plan now, and you have a plan for the future. So you checked all the boxes that I had for today. So I think it's wonderful. Tell everybody how they could find out more about you.
How they could find out more about me?
Yeah, tell them about your social handles and where.
Oh yeah. I was like,
promote yourself.
Yeah. Well, you can follow me at Coley Jens, COLEY_JENS. Also the same for my Twitter, my Facebook, my backup page, which is Nicole Jens, because my actual name is Nicole. My family calls me Coley, which is at Nicole, NICOLEY_JENS. And I also will be getting Coley's Critters off the ground. I've already got some of it. I will be doing more of my paintings. This is a really small one.
Jellyfish?
I wish I had. Yeah, I actually if you will see you've seen the octopus. Some more of my art will be out there, and I do tattoo designs as well.
Oh, wow. Look at you. Yeah, you got some nice, a little bit of ink there on the left arm. I don't see anything else other than that. But
I got the jellyfish.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, right on the back, right there on your left, right below your shoulder. It's got a nice green and oh, wow, that's beautiful.
This one was a collab. Yeah, that one was a collaboration with one of my tattoo artists who I absolutely love. He's great. Tater Tots, I think, is his Instagram.
Tater Tots.
Awesome. Yeah.
You're living a great life there. It's you're I like to say this to people that are, as you're painting one hell of a great canvas. It's beautiful. And I thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. Gear up for your next adventure and head over to Bolotor.com to check out the amazing Bolo Pack and their other innovative outdoor gear. Catch you next time.